Welcome to your new journey of an entrepreneur, hosted by myself, Joyce Van Setters, and my friend Pete Moriello. With over 20 years of experience, we will be exploring this world of innovators, providing insights and advice to aspiring and current entrepreneurs. We'll share stories of success, failures, and all of the lessons we learned along the way. Get ready to break out of your comfort zone, but on the other side of this, you will be forever free. Welcome to the Forever Free Space podcast. I am your host, Joyce Van Setters.
And I am Pete Moriello.
And together we put this space together for you guys to get as much information as possible from thought leaders in your industry, as well as have a community to lean on, because we believe that's essential as an entrepreneur. Today we're excited because we have one of those thought leaders with us. We are going to sit down with the Ava Cowen to understand not only where she's been all this time, what she's been up to, and all her current projects she's working on today. Ava, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Ava, tell our listeners and viewers, what exactly do you do?
I do it all. What do I not do? I'm a coach, a physique coach. So by trade, I work with people building resistance training routines, and I assign macro targets for them, and I prepare some people for stage. Today, I had a woman who just shot her first magazine cover. I prepared her for that, and she's been wanting that goal for 15 years, and so that's what I do. I help other people.
Okay, well, we'll circle back to the magazine covers because I'm aware that you're very familiar with that. But if you are familiar with the fitness industry, if you are familiar with competing, specifically the sport of figure, you will know IFBB pro Ava Cowen. She started competing in 2005, correct?
Yes.
I kind of connected with her in 2010, I think. I met you in 2010, but I have a little story to preface that. So I was working out really, really hard, going to enter my first figure competition, bikini competition. I had no idea which one. I was just going to roll with it. And my husband goes out to a vitamin shop, and he comes home with this DVD or CD. And it was your CD, Ava Cowen, The Sport of Figure. And he said, they just were giving this out at the vitamin shop, and I told them that, my girlfriend was going to compete, and you should try it. And so I was like, all right, whatever. I was just looking through magazines, and back in the day, you just went off magazines, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So I put the CD in, completely blown away. I'm like, who is this? Like, not only to me, her physique is one of the best I've seen in the sport of figure, one of the best, hands down. But it was just the way she came across, describing exercise regimen, programming. Regardless of her background, she had so much knowledge on how to get there, on how to get in shape, that I was completely blown away by it, obsessed with her. And I ended up contacting her. And here we are.
Nice.
Years later.
Wow, that's a great
We've
story.
been in contact over the years, working on different projects together. But I think the masses want to know, where the hell is Ava Cowen been? Because tell us, first let's start with, so you started competing in 2005, correct? With IFBB? Or with NPC?
NPC, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your first show like?
Yeah. So my first show was life-changing because of what I put into it. And for the first time in my life, I got a return on the investment because I went so deep. If anyone were to see what I was doing to get ready for my first show,
Right.
there was something inside of me that I was like, it was life or death. I had to do it. And so I went through a series of challenges, and there were some hurricanes in Florida, and I got ready for my first show with no electricity. And it was just
Wow.
a lot of obstacles, but it was cool because I won the overall. 250 competitors, and I'd never competed before. And I was
Wow.
like,
That's amazing.
everyone says, don't do it. It's too big of a show. It's political, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to do this.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love this. And so after that, did you just think like, now this is my career. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to be a figure competitor.
I'm going to win the Olympia. I just was all in. I knew I had the work ethic. And so I just had to figure out the combination between hair, physique, and the whole look
Right.
to make it happen, because whatever was required, I was going to do.
Okay. And does that change every year? The hair physique combination, whatever's required, is that, I feel like that changes. I mean, I don't really know, but I feel like it
Nobody
changes
knows.
every year.
Nobody really. I mean,
It's a mystery. And
it's one of those secrets of the universe.
Exactly. So you've done about 25 shows, right, after 2005. And I mean, I don't know how many magazine covers. I've seen you in Hers, Muscle and Fitness. I think I had every single one of your pictures on my refrigerator just to stay motivated. Like that was how I stayed away from eating.
Great. That's good.
But so you said you helped someone with magazine cover today. I mean, you've graced over 20 magazine covers, correct? How
Correct.
was that, and how did you get into that?
I made it happen. I figured out what the internet was. I created a little social media like MySpace, and I created Ava Cowan. Yeah, I'm going way back.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going way, way back. But that's how I started the thing, because it led me to the magazine covers.
Right.
So doing that, I was very determined, is my point, where I was doing every single thing I possibly could all hours of the day to find, how do I get on the cover? Who's in charge of the magazine? Who
Wow.
takes the pictures? And so I went and located everyone. And I went to the stands and I looked people up, and I would locate their email and I'd write them.
So you literally went through the magazine, like on a magazine stand, went through the magazine and found people's emails.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love it. See,
That's
these
how I
are
got the covers.
these are the right. These are the gems, the cheat codes
Yeah.
that people don't know
Being assertive.
when they're competing. You know, it's just like they just sit back and think someone's just going to come and give it to them.
Right.
No one's ever going to come. No one's coming to save you or do it. You have to find the way. So in that vein, in that moment, I went while it was hot. Like I was going first.
Right.
So that's how I got that momentum in the front, in the front side, and just build. And I just was like thinking of any single thing I could do to reach these people. And I have a story and I wanted to tell it. And I first went to Hollywood when I was 19 years old. That didn't work out. It's
To be an
but that's
actress.
it's my first passion.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was like I kept getting, like third callbacks, and it didn't happen. So I'm like, I don't have time. So I went into fitness, and I said, I'm going to be figure Olympia. I want to win that, and I went all in on that. And then, coming all the way back to the beginning of this podcast, when you said, where have you been? That was the next phase, and the highest level of initiations or tests or hard challenges, whatever verbiage you feel comfortable with, it was hard, and I knew I had to do it.
Right. Talk to me about the very first, what you consider big show that you won.
So the first one out of the gate was a level 5 show. So that one was never supposed to happen. And so that one was just big. But the one right before that was Figured Universe. And I never got to publish, to speak about it too much. But that one was like, I loved it. It was awesome. I hear an echo.
Do you?
Okay, it's gone now.
Okay. And so after that, you were all in, I assume, after you won a big show.
Oh, I was all in. I was going to do whatever it took. The pictures, staying in shape all year, locating, networking on Body Space or whatever I could do.
Right.
Leaving comments or writing people, sending my stories, sending pictures. So I would set up photo shoots and I would submit those pictures with the idea of where I wanted those pictures to end up. So I would do cover tries all the time. I set up my own studio, and I befriended the late Onyx, my friend George.
Oh, wow.
I found him on one model place. He was taking pictures of lizards, and I saw those pictures in the backyard, and I was like, this guy's it.
Right.
I go, oh. So I reached out to him. I knew immediately, and then he became this big photographer.
Right, I remember.
Yeah, and so I learned through him, and so we did cover tries, and then I'd submit those to the magazines.
Wow. And did you have a coach? Like when you say what it took, what was it? What was it exactly for? Let's say a beginner's watching this, and they're looking for information on how to start. What was it that it took?
You have to be all in, no matter what, no matter what.
So it's a mindset first.
100%. Don't even, if you aren't sure or you don't kind of know or maybe, and don't do it.
Yeah.
You must know before you ever begin that you're going to put in the work, whatever it takes, and then have realistic expectations of yourself. See what's also marketable and who's being rewarded. You have to look at every single aspect of what this is.
Right.
And then you have to position yourself towards that. So, what are the people that are successful in that area doing?
Mm-hmm.
Don't copy them. Find your own voice through the inspiration of what you see through them.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to just say, if you copy someone else's words, it falls flat because there's nothing behind it that is authentic.
Right.
So it has to come from your own heart and mind.
Agreed.
And then it's powerful.
Yeah.
And then it's powerful.
And did you hire a coach through your shows, or was that all you? Like when I watched the CD, The Sport of Figure, I followed all of those little programs that you did. That was like my regimen for like the next 12 weeks. Is that something that you came up with, or you had a coach?
So that was Lane Norton. So so I had one bodybuilding coach that got me ready for the 2005 Southern States. I love her. We're friends. She's beautiful. I love her. I just was ready to learn about the science of nutrition and learn it from a different perspective because I wanted longevity and I knew I couldn't live on tilapia and asparagus. I knew that
Right.
I'm not doing it. So I want to do the covers and I want to do the thing, but I know there's something else. So I went and found it. So I went and located Lane Norton on Body Space and I wrote him. And I saw his profile and what he was doing. And he had striated glutes as a natural pro bodybuilder. And I said, that's him. That's him. That's him. That's
Wow.
him.
He's also a PhD, correct?
Yeah. And he was at that time, though, he was going to get his PhD.
Oh,
So
okay. Got it.
I met him before he concluded that. And we were working together. So he is behind the Sport of Figure, like that regimen or that protocol. He gave me the training routine.
Okay. So I have followed your career since. And again, I think you have one of the best physiques in the Sport of Figure. I mean, hands down to me. Beautiful. What would you say to someone who would have a different body type than you that is looking at you as their mentor or their, this is how I want to look?
That's a good question.
Because people come in all different body types.
Right.
And I'm going to use myself as an example. I think I had you, I had Monica Brandt, I had Aaron Stern all on my refrigerator. And I was like zoned in on you until I was also going to school to be a personal trainer and then woke up and was like, wait, I can't look like her. Like I can look my best me. I can look similar to her. But in my head, I was waking up and that was going to be my body. I think I also wanted your hair. Like, I think I wanted the whole package. Right? I remember, you know what my favorite picture was? It was, and I don't know if you remember this, it was in every magazine. You had the chain around your neck, the big giant chain, and you were hanging from a pull-up bar, and that chain had to be heavier than you, and you were doing knee-ups with like an 8-pack. And I was like, what?
That was at Metroflex. That was with at least 100-pound chain. And that was the last shot of the day with Per Bernal.
That was literally, oh, yes, I know him. Yes, that was literally the best shot I've ever seen you in.
I'm like, I'm doing it.
Right.
And then the veins on my face that they photoshopped out. But it was just, I had so many incredible opportunities around that time. It was just like unbelievable.
I love it. So I think my passion behind following your career is your work ethic. So talk to us about your work ethic.
it's, it's a choice. And I was taught when I was very young, I had, I've kind of posted this on Instagram. I had Romanian coaches. So Nadia Comaneci's a choreographer I worked with. So
Okay.
for many years. So there's a certain mentality that from that level of elite gymnastics. And I learned from a very young age, you just execute. Just execute. And so but I always did. So
That sounds very
it,
Russian, by the way.
it execute. And but I did, and we did. And I have to tell you, I was able to use it the rest of my life when I wanted to. I love bodybuilding, and it's very challenging if you don't know how to lock into that aspect within yourself.
Right.
And so I just knew I could do it. I said, if anyone can do this, it's me. I'm the one.
Did you feel like at a certain age that kicked in? Like, when you're young, you don't understand that, but did you feel like maybe when you hit your teenage years or your late teens, did that kick in?
The second I've been on this earth, from the very first pictures, I have two hands on my hips, standing like this. It's like, it's me.
Got
It's
it.
me. I don't even know what I was talking, I just knew I wanted to do something big and I was supposed to, and I didn't know what, but I was going to go find out. So I've always been that way. I just had to find the right project or passion or sport to lock into. And so when I found the sport of figure, I knew I could go as far as possible, no matter what. And I did for me, so
Right.
it was cool.
Just had to
So before
find out
we,
what fits.
yeah, before we circle back to me asking that same question again of how would you tell someone with a different body type, I really like Pete's question, and it makes me want to go into, tell us about young Ava.
Uh, ooh.
As much as you feel comfortable.
Woo. Really brave, very wise soul. I came in knowing
Yeah.
I had that thing I had to do. It wasn't some loopy doopy, airy fairy thing. It was ingrained in my soul, in my knowing. And so that little person, I had it in me. And I knew right out of the gate when I came into the family I was with, I knew something in me was like, this is not good, but you can do this. Like, I knew the disconnect and the distance and the lack of the things that I needed growing up. I knew I could somehow be okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was a conversation with myself. So I was very hyper independent. I got into gymnastics. So it was my, schoolwork. I went to an all girls Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
And I was just very disciplined and ready to learn and do my sport. And I just was able to hide there.
Wow.
And you grew up where, Ava? In Florida?
Many places. I've lived a lot of places, but predominantly during that time. So Tennessee, when I was very little, and then I was born in the Mojave Desert, and that little scene I spoke of was Sacramento, California.
Oh, okay.
And so fast forward to little Ava, knowing that she just wanted to blow up the world,
Yeah.
whether it was through acting or stepping on stage at the Olympia. Your first time that you stepped on stage at the Olympia, talk to me about that, because I've been to the Olympia a couple times, and it's a crazy, crazy scene. I can't even imagine what it's like for the competitors. I'm only talking about for the spectators. And I was
Give
able
me
to
one.
get good views at the time. I was working with Tangi Johnson. So I was able to, be in that realm and be in that area of the hypeness and all that, and even meet Arnold. But what is it like for a competitor?
Well, from my perspective, this was my dream. These are the things I wanted to go all in on. And it's challenging because there's so many different things that you're going through. So not just getting ready for it, but then you have to look this certain way and your physique has to happen. Then whatever's happening in your family or your life, you have to be okay with what's going on there and able to still get all your training in. And then anything professional that's going on. So there's all these different layers. And so for me, I always had that undercurrent of, just things for me with with the IFBB and the NPC and stuff. And it's unfortunate, just there was always an undercurrent where I was not going to ever probably be able to go all the way for a variety of reasons, and whoever really knows. But, and then maybe I wasn't destined to at that time either. The women that I was competing with at that level were so amazing that it's like, you go to win as a competitor, but when you come out of it and you're looking at everything, it's like Erin and Nicole are just stunning and tall.
Yeah,
And that
Nicole Wilkins.
and that makes a difference.
Yeah.
It does.
What was your last show, and did you know that was going to be your last show when you competed?
The last show I did was the WBFF, where I turned pro in 2021.
Wow.
I didn't know I was ever competing again. I just got the knowing, I'll call it, to, go out again, do the WBFF, see how they are. And the interesting piece is
I'm sorry, what was the timeline between IFBB and WBFF?
So I think 2015 was the last IFBB, and that was, and then I just was going through the inner work I speak about, or I'm about to speak about, and then so the bodybuilding took a back seat. But then when I came back, I knew I couldn't go to the IFBB, so the WBFF, I thought I'll try that.
Yeah, that was actually my jam, the WBFF.
Yeah.
Some good people there. And what was that like, competing your last show? And did you know that was going to be your last show?
I didn't know. I didn't even know I was doing that show. I just knew to complete it. And as it is now, I don't think there's another show. I just don't know ever, really. Isn't that weird?
No, that makes sense.
I think I feel like it's a tough, it's a tough
you just have that
gig.
fight in you. Yeah, you have the fight in you. You have the desire. You can just jump on and do it again. You know what it takes.
Yeah, I feel like I was talking to a CrossFitter about this, that competes in the CrossFit Games, and she kind of said the same thing. Let me know if this resonates with you. That when the CrossFit Games are happening, or the Open is happening, it's like a couple of months before the CrossFit Games. She's got that itch. She wants to compete, and then when it's over, she doesn't want to compete anymore, and she's retired. So I don't know. Does that resonate with you at all?
I don't even.
When the Arnold comes up, when the Olympia comes up,
I'm different. I'm different.
I welcome
and I
it.
know that, I'm just really different, and I know that it is different. I just don't step too far into the future. Like, I just knew to do the 2021. I did it as pescatarian. I wanted to try that.
Wow.
Did pescatarian.
That's good to know that you held on to that muscle as pescatarian.
Oh, you can. You just have to overshoot a little bit on the protein.
Yeah.
I would but actually not with pescatarian. You get, I was covered in my leucine and all my, the whey protein and the dairy. So
absolutely.
it's just, plenty. So that was good. I like to try new things. I just want to experience it for myself. So and I lost where I was going, but
let me circle back to that question. What would you say to someone, and I'm going to tell you from a very generic standpoint first, and then I'll let you tell me from your professional standpoint. So a lot of times when I was a personal trainer and I worked in a gym versus working at home with clients one-on-one, I would have people come in and say, ooh, I want to look like her. I want to look like you. And I obviously knew in the back of my mind, if they didn't have my body type, they were never going to look like me, but they could look like their best them. And essentially, I don't think anybody wants to be anybody else, but I would never say to them, oh, you can't look like me, off of just, not having a conversation with them about health and their goals and what they're looking to do. But what would you say to someone who, like me, who would put your picture on the fridge and says, that's what I'm about to look like?
I think it's, as long as it's an inspiring, motivational tool, and you have a balanced perspective and it's healthy, where you look at a picture, which is a visual cue to be like, hey, maybe I don't want to cheat on my diet. She's doing it. I will too.
Right.
So in that, I think it's awesome. I think the conversation to be had would be, what component, what aspect do you most like? Is it the leanness, the abs showing? Is it how much muscle? Is it being super skinny? Like what aspect? So then it guides them to that, what you're saying, the best version of themselves. So you can go, if you like that level of leanness, this is what it takes. Boom, boom, boom. And the sacrifice involved. And then perhaps get them to their ideal look. I just like to guide people to their own after picture.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, actually. That's very actually informational. I wasn't expecting you to go that route. So tell me and us what you are doing these days. Besides, I've been following you on Instagram, seeing your body transformation. You look amazing, by the way. I mean,
Thank you.
shredded. I'm like, what just happened? I feel like I scrolled 2 weeks later, you were shredded.
I just do it like that.
Did I miss something?
That's the ticket right there. There's just some aspect, and I wanted to show a mindset around it. I also wanted to see how low could I bring my calories as a healthy person that's medically cleared to do an aggressive fat loss phase based on some current research that I've been reading about and hearing about. But I just thought, hey, maybe for a short period of time, just go really all in. I knew I could do it because of my background.
Right.
And then what happens on the other side of it? So for me, I wanted to do it to, yes, make myself, to lose that body fat, but to show that whatever you believe about the experience is the experience, and how even at 1,039 calories, it was easy.
Wow. 1,039 calories. For how long did you do that?
6 weeks.
Wow.
Now, that could be variations. It could have titrated a little bit up and down. So it was not solid because I had to come up slowly and then not so slowly. So, but it was in a deficit for 2 months, but a short period of time. But it's what do you do on the other side of it that I am interested in discussing, embodying, and guiding other people to, so that they can be not part of the statistics of the people who gain back all their body fat and typically more than when they first started dieting. It's because they have not implemented the ways to make this okay to live here.
Right. So when you help clients get to their goals, as you said, are you also helping with the nutrition aspect of it?
That's the most important component.
Total package.
The total is, looking at where they exist. Let me get some water.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Hold on.
We don't want you cracking on us.
All right. I don't know where I'd pick it up, but
The total package, we were talking about nutrition and bodybuilding together. Total package.
it's on the other side of a diet that I'm really interested in guiding people, because there's like this time frame. If you really go through a process, you're in a deficit and you schedule an appropriate amount of macros to bring the calories back in to upregulate. I know I haven't seen the research on resting energy expenditure, but I have had personal experiences where here and there, or maybe a short window of time, you continue to drop body fat even though the calories are increasing. Most likely it's because of the non-exercise activity thermogenesis ramping back up and you're just more active in general. The thermic effect of food increases slightly. So there's a lot of different systems that when you start eating again are just boom, activated, where you're almost getting back those calories that you lost, that it's almost like spending the money, it's gone. So now it's back and you're feeling good, so you can expend some energy. But it's an interesting thing that occurs, and everyone is blown away, myself included, that you can even, I like to really have fun with it, with, giving some free meals and scheduling what that looks like. And it's like an art, and I can tell when they need extra food. And then And then it's interesting when the scale drops the next day. Not always, but it does happen. And it's fun. It's an interesting experience. And then I guide them up into new maintenance calories, and then we live there. And it's success.
See, that's funny because that's very interesting to me and a little bit mind blowing. And it proves to me, because Pete and I, side note, talk about all the time how there's so much misinformation out there,
Yes.
you know, to the masses of do this, do that, do this. But what you just said to me translates, that proves that when someone says, well, my metabolism is hereditary, you know, so it's just going to go down as I get older. And yes, it may go down, but your metabolism is not truly fucked by what you just translated. Because
Not at
the
all.
definition of metabolism is basically food and drink expenditure to energy, correct? So that can be changed.
Yeah, a lot of things affect that. So no, there's this misconception that as you age, that, oh, my metabolism, that is one of those, it's a program. It's not the truth. It could be a component of truth, meaning you feel that way because you're not up moving around and as active and going to train 4 or 5 days a week like you knew you had to before. So there is a component where you feel like your metabolism's getting slower, but you're actually just getting slower overall. And because if you actually get up and just start moving, and based on the research as well, there's really no difference until you're about 60, where the metabolism itself would be adversely affected, you know, just by getting older. So no, none of that is, that is not the space I live in at all, because I'm 52 and I'm just like, I'm here to create what that is. I also don't speak about the age often because unfortunately, my saying 52 means my information must go through the filter of someone else's experience, which
Right.
is not my own. And it probably has nothing to do with me, but 52 or so
Right.
something they're running when it's just what it is. And I'm just interested in maintaining vitality and vibrance and youth and feeling good.
And I feel like once you get into it, like the way you are, then it doesn't seem so complicated to me anymore. You know, the complication for me comes with all of the misinformation coming from everywhere.
Right.
That's the complicated
Then you
aspect
don't know which way
of
to
it.
turn.
Right.
Yeah.
When you break it down like that, like I knew about metabolism. I knew it wasn't hereditary. I could just tell you from my parents, and then looking at myself, I obviously don't look like they did. Now obviously didn't work out, but still, like I don't have that metabolism because I know I've changed it myself. Like I know I've taken mine in a different. Yeah, it's slowed down. I'm 51, but I know it's gone in a different direction.
But why do you think because you're 51 that it slowed down?
I don't think it's slowed down because I'm 51. I just think hormonally I'm different, but I just had to change things. So if I when I say it slowed down, I mean I can't eat McDonald's the way I used to eat when I was 15 or 20. My body will do something different. But to counter that, I work out differently. I work out a little bit harder. Obviously, I don't eat like that. So when I say that, I mean if I was living the same lifestyle as I did when I was younger, I would say, oh, my metabolism's just changing. But my metabolism is where it is right now today because of how hard I work and what I eat.
Yeah, I mean, you're always active. From what I recall and trying to connect with you, you're always go, go, go. But I don't even know. I don't even subscribe to the being in the early 50s and the thing happening to the metabolism. I don't think that's true. I think loss of lean mass, then
Do you think it's more hormonal? Like your hormones change, so different things will happen to your body?
I think you don't feel like training anymore as much. I feel like you don't move as much, or the intensity and the drive and and I'm getting ready for Saturday night isn't there.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the let's get ready for Saturday night, the gym is sometimes an aspect of getting there. So it's all connected.
Yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
better said.
Yeah, that's
That's
interesting.
better said. I'm going to take on that. So
So
tell
when you
us.
get older, you're saying when you get older, you have a lack of motivation, right? Like you don't have
Yeah, well,
something
you're
to look forward to anymore.
lazier. You know, when
Well,
you're
if
younger, you're ready to go to the club.
True.
Yeah, you had a drive, and that is often the hormones, hormonal, where you don't have the same possible intensity, or like, for instance, going out all night, or doing high intensity intervals.
Right.
When you're younger, that's very easier. I don't have a woman that's, in their 40s doing that. Sometimes I do, though, depends on the person, but it's not necessary. It expends a ton of energy. And so you have to be like really ready. And, you can do so much with the diet that it's not necessary, but it's great conditioning
Yeah.
if you do it. Yeah.
I want to know, for everybody who is tuning in right now, who wants to know what is going on with Ava Cowen, what would you like people to know about you? It could be anything, what you're doing now, what's going on with you, who you are, what you're doing. What's going on with Ava Cowen? What would you like everybody to know?
I would like you to know I made it, and you don't know what I made it through, but somehow I will be able to convey through a series of stories of events that I personally experienced. And I knew when I experienced these events that I would somehow be sitting right here, right now. And I'd be able to draw upon them to share an experience. I think I'm going to be very useful in guiding people through overcoming certain things that a lot of people are possibly going to go through, or they're at the next stage of their evolution, or the next lesson they want to learn. And I'm the guide that's going to guide them there, and they will know. I don't have to, the language I'm speaking, they'll go, oh, that's my language. And, then I have the background in the, nutrition and getting people ready for stage as natural competitors. And in that, being able to do that, I can get anybody in shape. And I care. So all of this is backed and enriched with my heart, and embodying unconditional love and being. That's what I'm doing in everything that I do.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but you got me in shape for my second show, and I took second place in WBFF.
So you rocked it.
You did.
You rocked it.
Nice.
I mean, I love it.
Where can everybody find you?
On Instagram at Ava Cowen. That's a nice little spot. I'm there. You can message me and I'll get back to you, or ava@biolane.com, and reach out to me. Let's connect.
So you're still working with BioLane today in the aspect of being a coach.
Yes, I'm one of the coaches, and I came in as the competition prep coach, but I help all people, and so I can do that, and I work as one of the physique coaches. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to be very authentic right now. Ava, I adore you. I love you. You know that. We've talked a lot over the years, and I just want you to know that I wanted you on this podcast because it's a safe space for you, and I wanted you to be able to tell whatever you wanted to, let people know where you are, what you're doing. So if there's anything else you'd like to get out there, now's the time before we wrap this up.
Let's see.
You got the stage, Mama.
I feel prepared, not really so much with what I'm throwing together in terms of my technology and, a few obstacles, but I'm bringing you along with me on my journey of moving through discomfort to the better version of myself. And I feel that if I can do that, if I can work on me and become a better person and just do that, that's my contribution to the world. And if I can guide you to your own highest version and your own better version, and that's what I want to do. I know I'm all jammed up there, but
No, I love it. I'm feeling it.
I just, I'm kind of messing up my words here, but it's okay if you mess
coming
up your
through.
words.
Yeah, it's coming through.
You know what I mean? It's like, but see the fumbles and all that. Another version of me that would have I would have just died, know,
Right.
and it doesn't matter, but that's mind work that I know that I'm doing, and knowing I don't have the things I truly need to do this in a way that would make me feel comfortable. But you know what? I'm doing it because that's what I guide people to do as well. And through that, there's breakthroughs. And I'm on the
Exactly.
other side. I'm on the other side.
Absolutely. Whenever we have a guest here, we would like them to leave a gem for the next guest. We don't know who the next guest is going to be, but can you give us a gem for the next guest?
You're up next. Do what you came to do.
Simple.
Nice.
I love it. And we're going to end that here. Ava, I want to thank you for being here with us. And I want to let everybody know we are still on Spotify. We are on YouTube. We are on Apple. No longer on Google. Google Podcasts are now on YouTube. But if this resonates with you, we would like to ask a favor. I would like to ask a favor. Instead of just viewing our YouTube videos, like our page, share our page,
it.
like, comment. We'd love to hear from you. We
Tell us how
respond
great
to
we are.
everything. Feel free to tell us how great we are.
You know what? Once you, here's the thing about all that is guiding folks to, participate by leaving comments. But it's like, if it comes from your heart and you feel like you like what we're bringing, share it with us, and it just opens the door, guiding people to give from the space of their heart.
Absolutely.
It opens the door wide open. So anyone who wants to share your love, leave comments or whatever you feel called to do that.
Talk that shit, Ava.